First Ave, really historic around the world. Prince put this on the map as a very great music venue in the 1980s, as you mentioned, using it as a backdrop and for several scenes in the movie Purple Rain in the 80s. And today, this is where fans are coming to remember and honor the legendary music icon. I'll have my photographer show you this large crowd over here now, dozens of people coming, even standing in the rain to pay tribute to Prince, who sadly passed away this morning. You can see a very large crowd, and since they've been here, they've created a memorial here at First Ave for Prince. His star is here on the building of First Ave, and that is where below they have placed several flowers, even candles, just paying their respects again to the music icon. And one of those people here is Nicolette. I'll have her come join me now. Nicolette, you were telling me you actually work in downtown Minneapolis. Tell me, what was your reaction when you first heard that Prince had passed away?
I was pretty devastated. I got a text alert, saying that there was a death investigation, and so, I just kept checking social media and the news, and once it was confirmed, it was completely devastated.
My photographer Robin and I were driving over here from the television station. Seems like every radio station was playing Prince music, and since we've been here, cars driving by have been blasting Prince's songs. One of my personal favorites, Adore, and someone who owns probably more Prince albums than he can count is Sam Inns, a huge Prince fan. Sam, tell me, what first drew you to Prince?
I owe it to my mom and dad, because they bought me Purple Rain as a young kid, and ever since then, it's been kind of the center of just about anything that I've done with my life. I'm an artist. Music is a major part of my life. Turning 21, the reason why I was so excited to turn 21 was so that I could come to his house, First Avenue, and hang out, on the walls, and just be part of what he had created. He's our royalty. He's Minneapolis.
And you were telling me, Sam, Prince kind of gave everyone permission to be themselves, and to step into their own identity.
Yeah, I think no matter what subculture you identify yourself with, Prince has affected it and has affected everyone in every way possible. And yeah, as a guy, he gave me permission to be me. He crossed every boundary, every genre. He broke through barriers all over the place, whether they were social or sexual identity or music barriers. No matter what it was, he just crashed right through them and didn't care. He was just himself. And I think we all owe him a lot for that. And I don't think he was done. I think that's the worst part about this, is I don't think he was done.
Britt Stevens joining me this afternoon. Britt, you say you actually went to a Prince concert when you were 16 years old. Mm-hmm. How old are you now?
I'm 25.
Tell me about that experience.
How can I describe it? I mean, it was something I'll never forget. It completely changed my life, the way that I view music, the way that I view artistry. It was unforgettable.
And what did Prince mean to you?
So much. A lot of it is memories with my father. He's the person that introduced me to Prince. He's a huge Prince fan. I remember seeing Purple Rain for the first time and it being kind of a big deal because that was a favorite movie of his. And he was like, okay, you're old enough to see this movie now because there's nudity in that movie. And it was just unbelievable. I mean, at that age and seeing something like that, and it just forever a Prince fan.
And Prince was really the core of Minnesota music. Yeah. What would you say set him apart from other artists, not just here locally, but nationally, internationally?
I think Prince was just never afraid to be himself. You know, you see him from the beginning, and he was always different. He was always reinventing himself. He was always doing something different. And he wasn't afraid of his sexuality, which was a really different thing for an artist. And he stands out above anyone else for me, just the way, not only his music, but as a performer. And yeah, the fact that he stayed in Minnesota and the fact that he lived here and that he loved Minnesota so much, and it really just put Minneapolis on the map. Like when you think about Minneapolis music, you think of Prince instantly.
You've actually seen him at a concert many times.
Yeah, so I've seen Prince at Paisley Park 5 times, which is really special to see him, because he played the Myth a few years ago, and he played like the Dakota and stuff like that. But to see him at Paisley was really, really unique. It's got the like logo, the glyph on the wall, which just like reminds you where you are. And then he always comes out super late. First time I saw him, he came out at 4:30 in the morning, and we stayed until 7, and then he served pancakes like at sunrise.
Pancakes.
True story.
What will you remember the most just about his performance, his stage presence? Because it's unlike any other.
He just completely controlled the stage. Like there was no, you didn't look at anybody else. And he'd always had incredible side musicians who were part of his bands. Like Third Eye Girl was really phenomenal. But I mean, it's just, there's no one like him. It's a living, at the time he was like a living, breathing rock star, which is there were very few of, and now there's even less of.
And of course, Tom, it's not surprising that so many people have come here to First Ave to honor and remember Prince. But I mean, when you see all of these people here, it kind of shows you the power of music. You see all races, different ages here gathering to honor one person. What are your thoughts on that?
That's something that we had as Minneapolis. Like, he represents the city, and I feel like a lot of people here can get kind of a distorted impression of him because you live here and it's like he's ubiquitous. But you go anywhere else, and even if you just show the glyph or the logo, everybody knows who he is. Everybody knows Purple Rain, Little Red Corvette. So it feels like part of the city has died when Prince has died because he never left, and he never compromised. He always stayed here.
And Tom, when is the last time that you saw Prince?
I think the last time was last fall. I wanted to go to the event on Friday, which seemed to imply that he was in better health because of that emergency room scare last week. So I knew that he was still active, but yeah, last time I saw him was in the fall at Paisley.
And your lasting memory, lasting impression of Prince, what would that be?
The musical god of Minneapolis. My favorite musician from my hometown. So that combination is really makes him not like anybody else.
And of course, Tom, before I let you go, I've asked everyone else I've interviewed today this same question. Your favorite Prince song, what would it be if you could choose just one?
Mine, I might have to go with Slow Love off Sign of the Times, the super slow jammer, because that one still just gets me, like the way I just tingle when I feel that song.
Gives you chills.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us,
Yeah,
Tom,
thank
and
you.
sharing your memories and experiences. I think that's just the power of Prince's music. Every single song, no matter the tempo, the melody, just gives you chills and just makes you feel so good all over. It just shows you the power of music, and you see that here very evident today. People coming here to First Ave, leaving flowers. If I could have my photographer Robin show you a glimpse of this, you see a little girl here honoring Prince. It just goes to show that he crossed over different races, different ages. You have different people just here honoring his life. Someone has even left a guitar for the music icon.
Very
Frank
appropriate,
Amelia.
Ashley.
It is great. Ashley, you had an interview earlier, and the gentleman then said that he felt a little strange because he didn't know Prince personally, but he couldn't believe how emotional he was getting about that. And I think that's the way a lot of people feel. I mean, obviously they don't know Prince, but he made quite the impact on them.
Absolutely, and that's when you know you're talking about a true artist, people who can make you feel emotions just based on music alone. You don't really have to meet him, don't even have to go to one of his concerts or see him in person. Just listening to his music, and he was a genius. He was a musical genius, let's face it. That's what Prince is known for and was known for and will be remembered for, and that's what people are saying here today as they come and share their stories filled with laughter and tears. But you feel like you really knew him because every time you hear a Prince song on the radio, even today, it's just like you have a piece of Prince, a piece of the artist.